When we had the discussion, you were very particular, we need to do this in Vella, Postcard Velha. Tell me the why behind, why are you so particular about this place?
Because, you're in the middle of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. When you talk to people, they say North Goa or they say South Goa. Nobody says Old Goa. This is where it all started. Look at the churches here. It's unreal. And look at this banyan tree, this 350-year-old banyan tree. Where else could I even think of starting an Ayurveda retreat? Not only this, just look at everything around the property. It's just, you just don't see any building for miles and miles. So I always thought that if you had to rejuvenate, to really get better and feel the environment, and in Japan, as they call it, forest bathing, I thought the Postcard Velha was the forest bathing capital in India. So I thought, why not do it here?
Fantastic.
Thank you, Dr. Vignesh. Such a pleasure always. Such a pleasure always. Thank you. Thank you.
A very warm welcome to all of you at Ayurvedic Healing and Beyond podcast. This is your host, Dr. Vignesh Devraj. It is with great happiness that I would like to inform all of you about our latest addition to flagship Sitaram Retreats, which is the Sitaram Ayurveda Experience. Now, what makes Sitaram Ayurveda Experience unique? It is the blending of timeless wisdom of Ayurveda with select, inspiring, slow living spaces that embody warmth or culture and the minimal elegance. Now, it is the space where the science of healing and the art of slow living come together and blend. Now, as a result of this vision, Sitaram is partnering with a unique hospitality brand that is actually disrupting and redefining the meaning of luxury hospitality. And many of you might have already be aware of this brand, and it's called the Postcard Hotels. Now, in today's episode, I am interviewing the founder of the Postcard Hotels, Mr. Kapil Chopra, who is a very passionate man, and he has a vision of putting the Indian hospitality brand on the global map. Now, with his rich experience as a hotelier and his understanding of how luxury is evolving and perceived today, he put together the Postcard Hotels with a vision of creating transformational stays. Kapil Chopra, welcome to my podcast, Ayurvedic Healing and Beyond. It's actually a fan moment for me. When I say fan moment, I need to go back to the year 2022, soon after, people started traveling to India after COVID. But luckily, we were a Ayurvedic clinic, so we had guests coming with medical visa. So we had one guest who used to come to Sitaram for Panchakarma every year. And this couple, they are into boutique hotel business in Europe. And when they come to India, they stay in Amman, sometimes in Bali, sometimes in Bhutan. And they are very picky. And they come for Panchakarma. And after they did the Panchakarma first time after COVID, because they could not do it for 2 years, and they come and did the Panchakarma. And they left and they said, thank you for the treatment. We really had a great time, and thank you for what you do here in Sitaram. And after 2 weeks, I get an email from them personally. Doctor, I must tell you something. I am in Goa right now. I just completed a weekend stay in one of the properties called Postcard. And I'm blown away with their hospitality. And that's the first time I heard about Postcard. And
very kind of them.
Yeah. Wow, okay, this is quite interesting. So I just Googled and then I saw, okay, nice. This might be quite interesting. Maybe when I go to Goa, I'll plan to stay there. This was my idea with my family. And then after another few months, my extended family of in-laws, they went to the property in Bhutan, Deva. And then they were like, Vignesh, you must see what these guys do here with the hospitality. It's quite slow. They have very limited rooms, and the breakfast that they serve and the personal touch that they do is just phenomenal. I think you have a lot to learn from them. I know you're already doing great. Your treatments are fantastic, but please go and stay there. This was the first. And that is when this word registered. And then one day I saw your interview on the social media and then actually took a lot of notes. What is hospitality and this?
I remember that conversation.
And then finally I meet you in Germany, and then I introduce, and then suddenly you said, I'm looking opportunity to start a real authentic Ayurveda in one of my centers. And that's where we are right now. So like we say, the universe has its plans. I'm so looking forward to have this conversation and also for the journey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm really honored to be here.
Thank you, Kapil. So to our listeners, Kapil, why did you start Postcard?
So I thought, the world of hospitality, I think, was becoming very commoditized. So experiences were a commodity. I thought stays were becoming commoditized. I thought revenue was taking a big center in. I also saw around India that we had stopped building great hotels with great experiences. Go back 20, 25 years back, there were absolutely great hotels in India. And somehow I could just see around me that in the last 5, 7 years, I couldn't see any great hotels being built. And I believe India has so much to offer to the world. So one of the big things I really thought was that why don't we build the next level of a luxury hotel brand which has a very different ethos, which makes you slow down, but is also what I call a transformational luxury hotel brand. And when I say transformational, what do I mean by transformational? Very simple. Stays which stay with you much longer after you've checked out. Yeah. So that's the one line definition of transformational. And transformational is, in my opinion, 5 levels above experiential. Means today everybody's saying we want to do experiential hospitality. You building 300 rooms in a 1-acre plot. How experiential can that be really? People are coming in from crowded places and you're putting them into crowded places again. So I thought there was a very, very big gap of showing India's great coastline, of showing what Goa really is. Means today we are at the Postcard Velha. You could build 300 rooms if you wanted to here, but how many do we have? Only 6. And it overlooks a 300-acre reserve forest. So I think that is Goa, not the Goa that you see where developers are cramming 25 villas in, an acre of a plot, and everybody's doing private pools, but there is no water because you've depleted the groundwater. So that is not Goa. That is maybe some other urban city which is trying to fit into Goa. So we really wanted people to see Goa the way it was, and it, according to me, is the design capital of the world, but we had to put it back on the map. So the Postcard Hotel for Goa was just an attempt to put it on the map.
I remember in the year 2000s when we had BlackBerry was the famous thing before iPhones came.
I love BlackBerry too. Big hardcore user.
Yeah. At one point of time, luxury was having a laptop, BlackBerry and internet connection.
Exactly.
And then later, the luxury is not having a BlackBerry internet connection or anything, and you are just disconnected.
Exactly.
That's what luxury is.
Exactly. So you've been at the Postcard right now. So I always say this, it's a slightly wrong example, but let me quote it. There are only 2 kinds of hotels in the world where you don't have any clocks. One is if you go to Las Vegas, to the casino, because they really don't want you to know what the time is. The second is at the Postcard Hotel. You would have seen around the hotel, there are no clocks. Because you're on a holiday. Why do you want to be, just kind of, again, looking at a clock and living your life? So slow down, breathe in the fresh air, and just experience the destination as it is. Let the destination and the story of the destination be bigger than the hotel. Well, that's how I actually look at Postcard.
I remember first when we were having the discussion, when we were discussing about how could we collaborate. One of my first requests was, if we have to do, we cannot have televisions in the room. And then I remember you saying, in Postcards, we don't have televisions. How did you come up with that? Because usually when we say a luxury experiential hotel, television is like one thing people look up to.
So no, but it was about rotary telephones that we have in the room, if you've seen. So otherwise we know you. It's not about getting bills all the time to keep on signing. We trust you, we believe you, and it's also about slowing you down to experience the destination. I believe televisions are a phenomenal distraction. So if you want to watch the India-Pakistan cricket match, we will wheel in a television in your room. Not that we want you to be totally cut off that way, but there are no televisions, and you'll be surprised. Now it's been 7 years. We get maybe 1 request a month that they would like a television because nobody wants it actually. And that also is mostly if there is a sporting event, then people would ask for it. Otherwise, no.
That's interesting because the reason why in Sitaram we don't keep television is for medical reason purely because we want people to fall asleep. And in the evenings, the biggest enemy of a good night's sleep is mental stimulation. So we want them to sleep. Of course, going to sleep, boredom is the best friend. Sometimes I tell people, the best friend you can have to have a good night's sleep is to read something heavy and boring. So people will fall asleep because people are stimulated today. So when you have a television, people can get glued to it and then it will impact. And today when you see many people are having hormonal imbalances and the kind of health issues, it's because their sleep is not right. So one of the things that made me connect with the ethos of Postcard was, that experiential part, slowing down. And in Ayurvedic textbooks, there is this concept mentioned when people are having high mental stimulation because of which they are not able to relax. We call it high Vata and high Pitta, it's like a forest fire inside. There's too much of aggression and they're not able to cool down. What they need is slow down and spend time in nature and surround themselves with people who are genuinely, empathetically and taking care of you. This is one of the things mentioned in Ayurvedic textbooks.
Interesting.
And some people do it knowingly with Panchakarma, some people it just happens. So this is where I found this concept will ideally blend with the Panchakarma treatment and the ethos of what we do in Ayurvedic philosophy of treatment.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
So why, I've seen you mention Panchakarma 3-4 times.
Yeah.
What is Panchakarma and why is it so important? And how does it change your life?
See, in Ayurvedic textbooks, these were documented. I always say Ayurveda is a documentation of understanding how human beings interacted with their ecosystem. When a person is behaving like this, when he ate this, he was falling sick. It was one of the ancient documentation. Some of it, maybe it's not relevant today because it was documented very time. But some of it are more relevant today than any other time. So to come back to that, before we had blood tests, before we had stethoscope, before we had MRIs and all these biomarkers, they were trying to understand with the pulse, with the tongue, with all the basic understanding. So those days they wrote that all the diseases a human being is suffering from, you can actually classify it into 2 types. Diseases of overconsumption or overnourishment, or diseases because of something deficient in your system. You can put all of them, and in between there is a metabolic syndrome, a metabolic disorders, which is coming actually in one of them. So when those days they had more problems of deficiencies, and only problems of excess were only to people who are closer to the kings and the kings because they had all the excess. And today we have more abundance problems. And always, when I go for workshops or lectures abroad, I always ask, do you know anybody who died because there was no food? We read it in the news. And today we have deaths because of cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, cancer. And these are problems of overconsumption. So today we have problems of overconsumption. So Panchakarma is designed to treat people who are having problems of excess. And today that is what the world is suffering with.
And also, doctor, even chemical consumption?
Exposure to anything that is excess from the body.
Interesting. So all pesticides.
Anything that is not good
water,
for the body.
Quality of vegetables, quality of air.
All of this will fall in this. Anything the body is finding that it is excess in my system, that is not good. That is considered as a potential toxin.
And simplified for me, even for our guests at the Postcard Hotel, what is, when people say, what is Pitta, what is Kapha, what are these terms?
So before I explain that, I would like to talk about our healing philosophy. So any condition that comes which is not emergency in detail, we put it under 3 categories of treatment. And any disease they come with, we can classify it into these 3 types. I call it the 3 R's. It's just to simplify the Ayurvedic treatment philosophies. And the 3 R's is, the first R stands for relaxing the body and the nervous system, which comes from slowing down. You're sleeping on time, you're waking up on time. And there are Ayurvedic therapies like Shirodhara, massage, Potli, where we do the stamping therapies. So these are therapies that helps to relax the body. Many people are on an overdrive today. They forgot what it means to just slow down and relax. And most of the hormonal imbalances, burnout or anxiety or sleep deprivation is coming because people forgot what it means to just slow down. So the first philosophy is to relax the body and the nervous system. And the second R is the reduce whatever is excess from the system. And that is what this Panchakarma falls under. And this is just one part of the whole treatment philosophy. And Panchakarma is when you have excess triglycerides, excess uric acid, or your insulin resistance is very high because of the unhealthy food habits that you're having. And then so Panchakarma, we work on that with that. And then the last R is what we call it as replenishing whatever is missing. So we do blood markers, we see if something is deficient. We need to make sure the right nutrition is going to them. So today we have this problem called overfed and undernourished. People are eating but they are tired. They're not able to sleep, but even if they sleep, they wake up tired. So in order to correct this, you need to put into all these three patterns. So looking at this, we understand some guests will need mostly of relaxation. Some will need mostly of Panchakarma, the reduction part. Some will need mostly of replenishment. So we always say, if you're not eating the right nutrition, if you are not supplementing the right macros and micros, no matter what we do, it's still going to impact your health. So it has a structure. So we try to follow all these structure, and every patient has a different protocol. It's a very customized protocol. So in the ancient times, they try to understand the dominant triggers in each and every human being. For some people, depending on their genetic inheritance, some people will be more prone to allergies. Some people will be more prone to diabetic condition, type 2 diabetic, or depending on their genetic traits. Some people will have, depending on if there is a history of cardiac problems in their family history. So we have to make sure that they don't have excess triglycerides, excess lipid profile. So and we call this under the combination of kapha disorders. So one is pitta, is too much of metabolic conditions. And when we talk about vata means...
When you say metabolic conditions, what do you mean specifically? Give me an example.
So if I have to explain what is metabolism in a layman's language, it is the food you consume. How good is the body converting that into your energy?
On the basis of that, you would be a pitta.
If your pitta is good, means your metabolism is fantastic.
Good. Okay.
It's like the fire energy. Fire is what makes ice into water and to a vapor. So how can I convert the food into an energy? Or after eating food, am I feeling sluggish? Am I feeling tired? Am I feeling bloated? So this has a lot to do with how good is your metabolism. And vata is how is your ability of clarity of thought? Are you being restless? Are you able to have good energy? All of this falls under this category. But the point is, we are trying to address in these 3 R's. Should we give more relaxation? Should we give more reduction? Or should we give more replenishment? We look at all this and try to understand. Today we have modern biomarkers. We do blood tests. We understand a lot of things with ultrasound. So we take the best of both and try to analyze, and after a 2-week or a 3-week treatment, they go back transformed. And that's the whole concept of what we're doing.
Very interesting, really, really interesting. And I think that was one of the reasons why we always did spas at our hotel. But I really believe that the future actually belongs to living well. And I think the environment around us, not only in India, but pretty much everywhere around the world, is not allowing us to live well. Because there are just too many distractions. The phone itself is a hyper device, correct? So is the television, so is the news you read, so is the environment around you, so is your work. So, anytime I really wanted to do something, I was very clear that we wanted to do what I call medical wellness. I did not, and in my layman terms, the way that I looked at it, and I always look at things 0 to 1 really. You start from 0 and you go to 1, so you always start from a fresh base. There is no history. So every time I wanted to do it I wanted to do a clinical wellness resort. I just didn't want it to be recreational wellness. It had to be medical. So you came in for preventive medicine. You came in so that you do not get into a disease-led lifestyle. You came in because you were really genuinely concerned about curing yourself. Because at the end of the day, what is the use of wealth, work, or a life if you're not healthy? So how do you make yourself healthy? And also the fact that I wanted Postcard to be at the center of this movement on what I call transformative stays, but in terms of transformative wellness stays. We will transform your health together. But the science to do that, Dr. Vignesh, was never with me. And that is why the partnership with Sitaram. So when you and I met for the first time in Berlin, the idea was always, I was always looking out, and I'm a firm believer that if you are trying to do something, like I wanted to do Postcard for maybe 10, 15 years now, but you always got to stalk your goal, creating not only one destination, but creating multiple destinations on wellness where people can just come. So Take 2 holidays for recreation, take 1 holiday for wellness. Can that be a lifestyle change that people can adapt? Can that declog our hospitals? Can that happen at every single level, really? I can't solve that entirely myself, and neither can you. But can we do it for our set of people and saying, okay, at least you guys are out of the hospital? And I thought that transformative wellness was a massive platform to build on. And then was, where do we do it? And we're at the Postcard Velha, like I said, 6 rooms, 3 acres, overlooking 300 acres of reserve forest. So pretty much 303 acres for 6 rooms. Yeah. So once you get a property like this, you get Goa, you get great connectivity to come into Goa. It's already a place which kind of puts you at ease because people have a different connotation of Goa. So to do something here was absolutely exceptional. And like we discussed, we only wanted to start with 6 rooms. That's a deliberate attempt. I didn't want to do a 30-room resort. And we wanted it to be what I call, if I may say, the diamond standard or whatever the most expensive stone standard in the world is of wellness. 2 senior doctors, 2 senior yoga therapists, working with our guests, 10 therapists and only 12 guests. Maximum. Means that for me is real involvement in making sure that our guests get super personalized treatment, and that is a discussion that we've always had, and that was one of the reasons why we wanted to do it, and that is why we're starting this journey of maybe, if I may say, the best standard globally. I don't think any global wellness resort has this level of doctor team, yoga practitioners ratio to the number of guests.
So in one of the, when I look back at what was my, aha moment, why I wanted to start Sitaram Beach Retreat. So I come from a medical background, like a purely with my father, with all the teachers who taught me, it was like a pure medical side. Really sick people came for Ayurveda. And then during my internship in Trivandrum, where I was doing my Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, during my internship, we used to go and do night shifts at some of the Ayurvedic resorts in Kovalam belt. So that used to give us pocket money. So it was like...
Yeah, interesting.
So sometimes when I was, at one night when I was staying there, we had the senior doctor was there on leave. So the owner of that resort came and told me, can you be the doctor there? And I was like, okay, I can be the doctor. And then one patient came and she just landed from the flight and came directly to the resort, and she said, I want to do a Shirodhara. This was her first request. And I said, sorry, you cannot do Shirodhara right now. You just landed from the flight. Already you have a lot of neck pain, and if you do Shirodhara right now, it will aggravate your condition. We need to do some preparation and then do Shirodhara. And then I was like, and she was quite disappointed. And then she went and complained to the owner of that resort. The owner comes and tells me, you have no idea how difficult for us to get a client. And you come and tell us you're not going to do this. So that was one, at that point of time I was thinking, the kind of doctors that I deal with in the hospital, we are trained to diplomatically say no. Because what you want and what is good for your body need not be always right.
Exactly.
And I come from that kind of a background. So, and then later on, I had a serious allergic issue and I did the Panchakarma. And after I did the Panchakarma, I realized what was missing here is in the hospital centers where Ayurvedic treatments are done. There are 2 things that I saw. One is hoteliers or real estate people hiring Ayurvedic doctors and running a resort, or there is a 5-star hotel and you have a spa attached. And then you have doctors who are running a clinic and the people are staying. So the doctor and clinic, the whole concept is about, I want to heal the patient. Sometimes patient comes and says it's mostly no. No, you better do what I tell you. The decision making is different. And whereas in a resort where Ayurveda is done, it's about how can I please the guest. And in a doctor and clinic, it's how can I heal the guest.
Yes.
So when I did this, I was thinking, why can't we have a hybrid model where the doctor is running the show and we have the best of both. So that was one of my aha moments, this bridge to happen.
You have a very good point. You make a very good point. And the idea really, and why I asked you the earlier question on Kapha, Pitta, is to demystify Ayurveda. So I think Ayurveda is still looked at as a very, complicated science. And some people believe in it, some people don't believe in it. But it's actually following your body's rhythm. No, that is what Ayurveda is, and looking at your body and you're healing yourself. Yeah. So I also believe that one of the key things that the partnership between the Postcard Hotel and Sitaram Resorts is going to do is demystify Ayurveda for everybody. And the demystification of Ayurveda is very simple. Here is something which helps you live better, age better, and keeps your health good so that you don't land up in hospitals and you don't have lifestyle diseases. I'll give you a personal example. So because I like stalking my goal, so I went to a very nice health retreat, just to try it out. And because I think I'm a type A personality, I'm always on the move. So I would measure my blood pressure in Delhi and come 130, 140, 100, 90. Okay, and everybody said, I think you need to take a Telma AM twice a day or Telma CT twice a day and be okay. And then this is what. And I was clear I'm not going to take medication for blood pressure, rightly or wrongly, whatever. And I went to this health retreat for 3 days, and they didn't do much on me. They just did 1 or 2 treatments, but I was with my son and we were just chilling out. And he checked my blood pressure and it was 80, 120. And I told him, I said, but in Delhi I'm 130, 140, 100. He said, you actually don't have a blood pressure problem at all. Your reaction to the stressors in your environment is taking the blood pressure up. He's saying, if you had a blood pressure problem, your blood pressure would not be 80, 120. And that made me really think that how about we kind of create an environment where people embrace health in a significant way. And it's for my guests. I'm doing it for a very selfish reason for the guests and the fans of the Postcard Hotel. And also the fact that I'm reading another book. Actually, when I came on the flight today, it's in my bag. It's called Breathe. It's just called Breathe, okay? And how somebody who had a clinical lung problem actually cured himself just by breathing correctly. And I'm reading it, I've kind of already done 100 pages, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's telling me not to breathe from the mouth in the night, and most people do that. To use even a tape in the night in the mouth, just so that you get used to breathing from the nose. And that only itself is so magical. Just the power of breathing, and that is in yoga, correct? Means we do it so well in India. But I thought there was so much for me to learn. So I have 2 very selfish reasons for partnering with you here, Dr. Vignesh. One is I want to make my guests healthy. 2 is we are, if I may say so, the Postcard Hotel is a brand based on innovation and exploring frontiers of hospitality that have not been done before. Today, except for a regional local chain or regional great, like you said, doctor-led resorts or real estate-led resorts, which are kind of going to the valuation game, there are very few credible hotel companies globally running credible medical wellness institutions.
Absolutely.
And for me, that was, I thought, the biggest opportunity. Credible hospitality, credible wellness, 110 years of history that Sitaram has, coming together and building a credible medical wellness brand. And why can't it come out of India? It was the question. And that is why we're sitting here in Goa in the middle of this absolutely stunning hotel. In the backdrop is a 350-year-old banyan tree, and that is the inspiration actually to create something that I think the country hasn't seen, something maybe that the world hasn't seen. World-class hospitality with world-class medical care, coming in together with a very high ratio of people taking care of guests and not treating them, maybe in the medical term, treating them as patients, but handling them as guests. How do I say it? Yeah.
We always use the word patients.
Yeah, and we always use the word guests. So yeah. So actually, so I think somewhere along the way that merger will create I think a huge medical wellness moment. Like Postcard did. When we started the Postcard Hotel, we did not know really that our guest scores are going to be the highest in the world. It means the first time we got a call, I still remember my co-founder Anirudh got a call, and they said, we're calling in from Booking.com headquarters in Amsterdam, and you are the highest ranked brand in the world at 9.6 on Booking.com for verified guest reviews, which is the highest for any chain in the world. We thought it was one of our friends playing a prank. I'm serious. And we told Anirudh, how is that possible? We just started. But it was the reality. And 1 hour later, we got a call again saying, yeah, means, congratulations. And it was a seminal moment for us. Personally, I would love this partnership to be a seminal moment for us, really. Combining your expertise in healthcare and also the fact that I think that Sitaram and you, Dr. Vignesh and Janani, I think are very forward-looking people who are actually trying to make a difference. So you don't have to go to, and also I think our partnership's first choice of location is Goa, not Kerala. Could be Kerala too, actually. There's nothing wrong there. But it's, again, we are trying to say, why can't it be in Goa? Because Goa is associated with just fun. But this is fun for your body, maybe. Maybe for your soul.
Yeah. One thing that we always say in Sitaram, I tell my staff, sometimes people come and say, why do you have such limited inventories? You have so much space to build, like what you're talking about, this experiential part. And for me, it's very important that every staff should know every guest by name and what their condition is.
Exactly.
And that, people come for that human touch. And that human touch, when it's done with a lot of empathy and a lot of care, that is a part of the healing process. And that makes such a turnaround. And many people, the kind of stress that they go through in daily life, and then the decision making that they have to do, and burnouts that they have, and suddenly when they come and they see a whole team, everything, from the maintenance, from the staff, from the plumbing, from the gardening, and that's what we're going to do here. Like what you also already do that with another hospitality part, transformational part. Everyone, our single focus is how are we going to heal this guest? And that makes that environment quite different. And when they leave, they go back with that both hands in the tears of joy. And many times people come and say, what you guys do here is quite priceless. And and that's the feeling that we want in every guest. And that, is what is making us move. And when you're talking about this is what we want to bring together. And seeing this place and this banyan tree and that the nature where we are having, because nature plays an important role in our healing factor. And that thing, when I saw that you're also open about it, that is one thing that made me, yes, this is going to be a great collaboration for us.
Exactly. And can we do enough with the same amount of medical care? But I'd like every unit to be still small, not very big, so that, like you said, people should know the guest name, people should know why are they here, people should know about them. I somehow believe, earlier on you would sit in a train, people would talk to each other. Nowadays nobody talks, everybody's on their phone. People just don't look at each other, forget about talking to each other. And I think that human connection will come back. I was reading another very important data point, and that was for Europe, not for really India, in which it said on how likely is it to live with partners. And it is 1/3 of what the generation born in the 1950s and 60s was. So they were somewhere between 70 to 80% likely to live with a partner. This generation is between 20 to 30%, and this is Europe statistics. I'm sure they're maybe a bit higher in India, but not very different. Means the trend is very clear. So if people are going to be alone, if people are going to feel the lack of human empathy and touch, I think they will seek that human connection. And we always tell our people that never say no to our guests, as long as it is not immoral, unethical, or illegal. So if it is immoral, unethical, or illegal, you're allowed to say no. Otherwise, always give an alternative. I think with Sitaram, we'll also have to say if the doctor is convinced that you're right. So I think we'll have to come to a fourth category here, because the doctor also needs to believe, because he is aiding you on this transformational journey. So there has to be some cooperation from the guest, as well as the person who's actually going through this transformation.
The team that is dealing with the food and beverages in Sitaram, I call it food and beverages because that's how the hotel department talk. But in Sitaram, when it comes to our food, our biggest training that we need to do them is how to tell no. Now the reason is, one of the reasons why we don't give caffeine or alcohol. People sometimes they come to Sitaram Beach Retreat and say, oh, you have such a beautiful property, why can't you just give me a glass of champagne? That's against our policy. But then I ask them, why should I give them? Then you can fill up more rooms. Sorry, we are already sold out. We have enough people. The point that we are trying to do there is, what is good for you and what your mind needs are conflicting. And many people are sick because of this pattern, and people are struggling to sometimes give up their addictions.
I think it's every day, no?
Yeah.
I think every day, no? Every day we are making violations to this rule, actually, what you said.
So in Ayurveda, we call it Pratnyaparada. It's one of the causes of disease. Pratnyaparada means I know what I'm doing is not healthy for me, but still I do it out of a compulsion.
Pratan is anyway effort, correct?
Pratnya.
Pratnya, okay. It means effort?
No, Pratnya means your consciousness.
Okay.
Your consciousness says what you're doing is incorrect, but still you go against it. And the reason is, see, our environment plays a very important role. And when you look at how our brain is designed, we are designed to eat as much sugar, salt and fat, because in the ancient hunter-gatherer times, that is where the energy came from. So we have to fight our genetic traits and gravity to say no to things like salt, sugar and fat, because that is where energy comes. And today we are surrounded with these distractions. Today, when people say I want to live healthy, it's because when you live in an environment where you are a bit of distraction free, it makes it much easier. So that's where a study done. I read this in the book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, where he wrote a study where he was saying what makes disciplined people, healthy disciplined people, disciplined, is it because they have a extra genetic trait of having more willpower than the others? And what they found out is, no, willpower is the same across all people. It's just that people who are more disciplined and healthy, they end up not exposing themselves where they have to use willpower in the first place. For example, if I have a problem with gambling, I just don't go to Las Vegas. And if I try to use my willpower and I am having gambling issues, and if I'm in Las Vegas,
you will gamble.
It will gamble.
No, but in simpler terms, at home means you just keep the sugar away. Yeah, means because you love
that's
sugar.
The whole thing. Yes,
that's what you do.
Exactly.
In simpler terms. Yeah. But again, I also think, Dr. Vignesh, tell me. So I'm a guest at the Postcard Hotel, and I come for 7 nights. Why not 3 nights? You and I know the answer to that. Yeah, but for our guests, why should they come for a minimum of 7 nights?
In the beginning, when I started my practice in Sitaram Beach Retreat, I always was strict on minimum 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So in the beginning, I was like, you need 2 weeks to really undergo the Panchakarma treatment and do this. And then I saw a different, remember I told you about relaxing the nervous system and body, and then you have reduction, which is to detox with Panchakarma, and then replenishment. There is a group of people who really need to just relax. More than detox, they need to calm their mind. And I saw that there was a group of patients who came and said, I don't think I need 2 weeks. How about I come once 7 nights and then again I come back later at 7 nights. And for them, actually splitting that treatment twice or thrice a year, so 7 nights, gave them much better result than staying for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can split?
Yes, you can split. And actually that does much better results than staying.
That's interesting because sometimes people are not able to get away with 14 nights.
Yeah.
But if you know you're going to get better, then you can do 7 nights and 7 nights too.
But it's not for everyone. For people who really need a intensive Panchakarma, for them minimum of 14 days is paramount. But there are people who are very stressed out, burnt out. Coming for a 7 days, it does a real magical transformation. That sets the tone for them when they go back. People today forgot what it means to, be relaxed. They forgot what it means to be healthy. They have normalized, okay, this is how life is, live with it.
I have another question, Dr. Vignesh. So I've done the Panchakarma. Now I go back. I am back in the stressor environment. What if I have a glass of wine then? Is my body more accustomed to process it now? Or what happens really? Because very difficult to just say now I will live a very disciplined life for the next 5 years of my life. Difficult, yeah? But what really happens then?
See, many people come and say, is Ayurveda very strict? And after I do this, I cannot live that monk life.
Yeah.
In Ayurvedic textbooks, it's written, the purpose of Ayurveda is so that you enjoy your life. And in order to enjoy your life, you need health.
Yes.
And today, when you see many people, when they're indulgence, they are not really enjoying it. They are doing it out of a compulsive behavior. So, I always tell them, you need to have a 80-20 rule. 80% you live healthy, 20% you need to indulge.
Yeah.
But many people do it the other way around. Yes. 80% unhealthy, 20% they try to...
I think like anything in the world, everything needs maintenance, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we run a hotel, we need maintenance. I think the body needs maintenance too.
Exactly.
Or it will need some emergency measures if maintenance is not provided. I think it's a way where everybody needs to incorporate 7 days in a year to this. and do it at a very nice place. Means you are here, you are still in Goa, and it's absolutely amazing, and you can still enjoy your life. But for 7 nights, you are disciplined to making yourself better and great. But let me ask you another question, and I know it's different from person to person. What is the kind of impact, let's say, if I come for 2 weeks, on my insulin levels, if in case I'm pre-diabetic or diabetic, or on the blood pressure levels? What happens? Is there a quantifiable impact that is also seen? But I know it's different from patient to patient.
So, see, if you want to check HbA1c, sometimes patient come and say my HbA1c is above 7. I'm coming for 2 weeks. Can you do a... See, HbA1c is an average of 3 months, like 90 days of your blood. So, but what we do in 2 weeks is we are making them unlearn and relearn what it means to live healthy. See, our mind, when you have a benchmark, you keep going back to that. What is your nearest memory of when you were healthy? Once you have that feeling, oh, I feel so good, I don't want to let go of that feeling. So when you ask me about after I do Panchakarma, what if I want to go and have a glass of wine? You will enjoy it better, but maybe you don't need so much. And sometimes maybe...
And you'll be conscious. You'll be conscious that this is good for the mind, but maybe not good for the body.
Many people, what they tell me, as you said, after I do the Panchakarma, I feel so relaxed in my body. I don't need that extra coffee. I don't need that extra glass of wine to go to sleep.
Exactly.
And I feel so high in my body naturally. I don't need that. And that's the point that we are trying to make them realize.
Yeah, and maybe it's to do with substitution. I remember you and I are having a conversation on caffeine, and at Merchant of the East with the Postcard Hotel, we do a lot of herbal teas like chamomile and hibiscus, and you said at lavender, and you said they were all fine, correct? As long as they don't have caffeine.
Yeah.
So I think there's a beautiful part of substitution also. If you can't have
absolutely,
this, have this.
absolutely. See, the reason why we are strict with no caffeine during the Ayurvedic treatment, we want them to connect with their true feelings, the feedback of the body. What caffeine does is, it disconnects your feedback that you're tired. So, caffeine is like, snoozing the alarm button of fire alarm, or something is happening. You're letting the body know you're not tired. So, that is not healthy. We want them to face their thing. So, then what happens? Slowly, the first few days they will have some headaches if they are addicted to coffee. First few days when they come, they might not feel good. So we'll give them herbal tea. Maybe we give them a green tea, and then slowly they realize, okay, now I'm feeling much better. I'm able to normalize that. So we always give this example: when you wash a plate, at the time of washing, it's going to look not so healthy, not so good. But after washing it, it's going to look great. And when you're coming here for that 7 and 14 days, and certain foods will be different. You don't have that excess sugar, excess oil. We are going to give them very healthy food, and you're going to sleep on time, because body loves routine. And now today we see all this longevity hacks. People talk about routine, and this is what we follow here.
Exactly. But tell me, what is the right time to sleep in your opinion?
See, in Ayurvedic textbooks, they say sleeping during the Kapha Kala. So when you look at it from the modern perspective, how the hormones, there's a hormone called melatonin. It tends to release between 8 and 11, depending on people's, how they program themselves to sleep. And when you have this hormone released, and there is a time between 8 and 10:30, 11, you will have a wave of sleep that is triggering you. And if you miss that, then you're going to struggle to fall asleep later. So many people disconnect with that feeling, and they just, engage in entertainment or something. So, and then they train their body accordingly. So it is very important that they start listening to that. And when they train their body, okay, I'm going to sleep. When somebody says, oh, I go to sleep at 10, what they're saying is, I trained my body to go to sleep at that time. And what we're going to do here, when they come for a Ayurvedic cure, is we're going to retrain that natural rhythms.
And what is, according to you, a good time to wake up?
See, if you can go to sleep before 10:30, and if you can wake up before 6, it's perfect. Sometimes, in some cases, even before 7. I've seen patients who are in phenomenal health, they go to sleep at 11, they wake up by 7. Okay, some of the textbooks, it says you have to get up at Brahma Muhurta. That can be quite extreme. There are patients who do that, and they are quite fine also. But according to me, looking at how some cities work, how the metro cities' lives are, 11 p.m. latest, not later than, if you can hit the bed and go to sleep, and you can get up before 6, 7 latest.
And just this, so this is what I've heard, and this is more anecdotally, which is that when people come for an Ayurvedic retreat, I've heard all of them come back with 5-6 kgs lost, 7 kgs lost. And that is because of the discipline, and they're not eating caffeine stimulated foods or processed foods. They're eating sattvic, clean cuisine, having herbal drinks if they have to, getting a lot of treatments. So is that the reason why this weight loss automatically happens?
It's like it's
not programmed for weight loss, but it just kind of happens because
it's just that they don't have. We don't recommend excess eating. We don't ask them to order second food unless there is a group of people who will struggle with putting on weight. But for them, we will have a different portion sizing for them. And there is a group who are struggling to lose weight. But for them, instead of putting them on a diet, we just correct the right food portion and they go to sleep on time. So when your rhythm is right, when your body and mind is relaxed, body can let go of what is excess much quicker.
Interesting.
But when you're stressed, your body will hold on to that fat.
And I think it's so right, because I've seen so many people just try to lose weight. And my point on losing weight or even gaining muscle is, you may be doing for cosmetic reasons that, of course, it makes you look better, but is your body really fit inside? And I think a lot of people are missing that part. And I think at one level, at the Postcard Hotel and Sitaram Resort here in Velha, if we can do that not only are you looking good, you're feeling great, your body is great, it's numerically proven that your body is in a great shape and condition, and you've automatically lost your weight because you've kind of adhered to a newer discipline. And it's finally only 7 days or 14 days in your life in a year which you are dedicating and devoting to yourself, and which you should, because now you're aging. Yeah, you look at the average age of the postcard guest is no longer 20 or 25; it's slightly higher. So you're aging in a better way. You're living your life in a better way. Although the profile is getting younger and all, but if you can get people into doing 7 days of Panchakarma or 14 days of Panchakarma for when they're 35, I think it's even better.
But now the demographics are changing. When I started in my practice, I saw a lot of patients with sickness coming post 50s and 60s. Now I see a lot of people in their early 30s.
Of course, because of lifestyle and the changes and the stress and I think the social media bombardment, it's just so addictive that it kind of stops you, numbs you from thinking, and you're always ready to jump, really, in a way. And I think I think this retreat is for all of them, and this retreat is the year round. Come whenever you want to. Is it better to do Ayurveda in the winter than the summers, or is it better to do it in the summers or the winters, or it doesn't matter?
No,
the day you decide to take care of your body is the right time.
No, it does matter. So it depends. In Ayurveda, we have this concept of Ritucharya. Like in winter countries, like where it's sub-zero climate, before the winter starts, they change their tires, make it winter tires. Same way, depending on what extreme climates you have where you live, and if that is having an impact on your health, you prepare your body before that. So patients with arthritis, and if they live in a very cold countries, like cold winter time is when their arthritis flares up, their pains and stiffness flares up. So I tell them, come during winter or prior to the winter time. So that way you are preparing and you'll have a easy winter time. Or if some patients, they have this pollen allergies during the month of April, May, depending on which hemisphere they are. Soon after the winter this comes. So when they come and do a Panchakarma during that peak winter time, and suddenly the spring comes during the month of pollen things, they feel that this is not, because the body is more resilient. So what is allergy? Something that is actually not so toxic, but your body is overreacting to this, because the body is on a hyperdrive. So we are trying to, when they do this Ayurvedic cure, the body is not so hyper-reactive like it is. See, when we are in a stress mode, we tend to get agitated with the small things. Same way the body, when it is on a hyperdrive, it gets overreactive to small things.
I think everybody in Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kolkata, especially in India, should all be here. So because I think they all need this help. And I think I've asked you enough questions. Now it's your turn to ask me as many questions as you'd like.
Kapilji, according to you, what makes a good retreat successful?
3 or 4 key points here. So I think what is the criteria I use at the Postcard Hotel is we look at guest feedback like gospel. So whatever you say, we'll kind of react to it always. So I would say, what is the real feedback of the guest, and I also believe that when people give feedback, they're actually genuinely interested in making you better.
Yeah.
So I think guest feedback will be a very, very important part of it. So you're aware that the Postcard Hotel wins more awards than any other hotel brand in this country, and all those are very cherished, and I'm very grateful for winning those awards. And my team is indebted to wherever we get an award from. But I think the real proof of the pudding is when guests write to us and share on how this was the best day that they had. This was the time they reconnected with their parents, their siblings, their families in an unprecedented way. For me, that is a definitive yes to a transformative stay. So criteria one would be, what do guests really say? Did they really enjoy the retreat? Two, did they really feel a transformative experience on their health? Did the health get better? Do they wake up better now? Do they have more energy during the day? Do they feel lighter? Do the blood markers tell them that they've done well if they've done a 14-day retreat or even a 7-day retreat? And I think the third criteria is, when do they want to come back? A lot of people get that part incorrectly right. So I always say at the Postcard Hotel that guests should not leave happy. They should leave delighted. Delighted is a definite category above being happy. So when guests leave delighted, I think they will come back. And when they come back, then it kind of becomes, a part of their life. I always look at and say that your customer engagement or your guest engagement should be so strong that they want to keep on repeating and keep on coming. You'd be surprised to know that 70% of guests at the Postcard Hotel book directly. Why is that important? Because in your business, it's even higher. But in our business, when I used to run a very big hotel group, it was only 8% direct. Today, we have 70% direct. It's the highest for any hotel company globally, hotels. Yeah, and more than 65%, that means 2 out of 3 of my guests repeat a stay. And they repeat a stay when I'm only 11 hotels. What happens to me when I'm 30 hotels? I think my repeat ratios would go to 80, 90%. Because people will have more options to go and stay. For example, you want to go to the mountains in the north. I only have Leh and Bhutan right now. Means I don't have anything else in the hills. Both the places are quite cold. So as I open more hotels, it'll give people more opportunities to repeat. So I think that's very, very key criteria, that they really want to come back. And if they want to come back, I think Dr. Vignesh with Sitaram, I think they will come back. And I think at the Postcard Hotel and Sitaram, I think both of us will be successful in what we set out to do. The other most important part was that if you look at all the new age wellness resorts coming up, they're basically trying to optimize for a 20-30% occupancy. Yeah, that's what they're doing, most of them, from what I've heard. And they're charging very exorbitant rates. So the other point was that although Postcard Hotel is an expensive brand because it takes a lot to service that level of guest expectations, but we actually wanted to go the other way this time. We wanted to say that why don't we create, and thank you for doing this with us, Dr. Vignesh, a package where everything is included. That you're not surprised. That if you're coming to me, I'll pick you up from the airport. I'll also drop you to the airport. So don't even think of that. Just book your flight, land at Goa, land at any of the 2 airports. Doesn't matter, yeah? The other part is that all medicines are included. All meals are included. If you need more medicines, even they are included. All therapies are included. So it's one all-inclusive price. And I had a vision that we wanted to keep it under 50,000 rupees a night, with all taxes included. So no surprises at all. Everything is taken care of. And I was inspired by a line that you used earlier, that we don't want you to dwell too much time on taking decisions. And that is what is the core philosophy of the Postcard Hotel also. What does the Postcard Hotel say? Whenever you wake up, we'll serve you breakfast. You check in when you want, you check out when you want. What are we doing? We are taking decision making slightly away from you. We're saying, do what you want to do, we'll do it at your pace. Out here at the Postcard Sitaram Resort also, we're saying the same, except we're saying, but you still have to follow a doctor here because you're coming here for medical reasons. But we'll make it as easy for you, as hassle-free for you, as worry-free for you as we can. And I think that is what makes a successful retreat, in my opinion.
So, with my 1 decade of experience, what I have understood for me, as you said, the feedback is like, it's like the main oxygen, because that's where we are actually getting a free consultancy there. What to increase, what not to, what to improve, what not to improve. And what I understood after many guests going to multiple places, and when they came to Sitaram and they said, what I like here is the personal attention. Sometimes when we built a retreat, the doctor-patient ratio, the therapist-patient ratio, that gets mismatched. So sometimes when the retreat is running full occupancy, they feel they are like going in a full house economy flight, because you have to wait for when this air hostess is going to come and attend and you have to keep pressing that button to see when they're going to come. But here we need to make sure that even when you're running full occupancy, it should go like it's a normal day-to-day thing. It's going very smooth and laid back. That all depends on the doctor, therapist and the staff-patient ratio. As long as we meet that, it's going to go well. And that's one thing I'm excited about here, because here the doctor-patient ratio, we have one doctor for 3 to 4 patients. And that's going to make it very, intensive attention and medical attention that's going to come here. That's one thing. And the other thing is the infrastructure should also be aligned with that. So that, sometimes what we understood, many patients, they prefer the treatment between 9:30 and 11:30. Somewhere that works best. But not many centers have the right infrastructure for that. So once we have that kind of an infrastructure, that makes it much easier for the whole system. And most importantly, the back-end area. The back-end area.
So it's like a hotel. You adapt to the patient's needs also, saying what are you comfortable with?
Yeah.
And I think that is the ultimate luxury. The luxury of being allowed to choose, the luxury of doing it when you want.
The only difference is we choose what your body really needs,
Of course.
but not what your mind, entertaining monkey mind wants. That's what that's the difference that we're going to do here. So when you put all this with nature and with the right staff who are also passionate about the ethos and what you're doing, then the recipe is very simple,
Excellent.
H2O, 2 hydrogen and oxygen, whether you put it here or elsewhere in the planet, you will get water. The same way, the same recipe that you put here, it will become a successful. And what I understood, when a retreat has a good chief doctor, and that chief doctor is the main architect, that will go very well. But when we have conflicting personalities coming with what the doctor wants to do, then it will have a lot of impact.
And that is why so much effort, care and concern in getting the right people.
Yes.
And in spite of the fact that at the Postcard Hotel we have no medical qualification whatsoever, we still kind of met every single doctor and therapist to say that do they follow the same philosophy of being at the Postcard Hotel, which is being kind, thoughtful, focused on the guest, and that is why it's such a beautiful marriage, I think.
I think it's going to do well, and we are really excited about this collaboration.
We are just waiting to welcome guests from all over the world and India to get healthier, better, live well, live a healthy life. And I'm personally looking forward to being here. You can say I have a massive selfish vested interest in getting into the retreat and ensuring that I get healthier and better, and also for everyone, our friends, our family, our team members. So we would love to encourage everybody to be here, so that they can actually contribute to the well-being of the entire society.
This is one thing that we made sure. In Sitaram, whenever we recruit a doctor or the therapist, we ask them, have you done Panchakarma on yourself? And that's a very keen point to understand, have they done it on themselves?
Exactly.
So this makes a very, so that's for the kind of doctors that we are having here in this collaboration. I'm really looking for, they are one of the best that we can get, and we have been personally trained from our team, and we're going to have the best.
And that's
from the point of a patient's point of view,
I think Dr. Vignesh, in our own simpler ways, if I may say so, we're trying to put India on the global wellness map and of real medical wellness. We hear of global institutions like Vivamire, and they're doing a great job. But I don't think we hear of global institutions in Ayurveda, and although so many of them, like Sitaram Resorts, doing such a great job globally. And I think here's an opportunity for us to come together to create this for India. Let India be the leader in global wellness. I think that's the game.
We're really looking forward.
We're looking forward to it also, and thank you so much, Dr. Vignesh.
It's an honor, Kapil ji.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Vignesh. I enjoyed it too, and thank you for having me on the podcast. It's the first time I've done a wellness podcast. I may be I may be the wrong guy to do it actually, but it's the first time I've done a wellness podcast. Generally, it's about entrepreneurship, building companies, building customer service excellence models. But I think this is about building life, really.
We are giving the most precious asset of anyone, that's the health.
Yes, exactly.